Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Sheila Clark. I'm going to be rolling through this video with you. This video is about why most people never build a second income. That's something I've been thinking about. I hear a lot of people talk about wanting a second income, and this day and age with the price of everything, who wouldn't? A little extra money every month, a little more breathing room, maybe getting to the point where you work because you want to instead of because you have to. To anybody in their right mind, that sounds pretty good. But then nothing ever happens. You'll see some folks wanting this and talking about it, and a year goes by, then another one, and they're still talking. And I've seen that over and over. And what I was thinking is, I really don't think it's because people are lazy. I think it's, or anything like that, or they're not smart enough to pick stuff up. It's just that most people never stick with any one thing long enough. They get all super excited at the beginning. They come in both, they find an opportunity. They come in both guns blazing. They're like, oh, this is it. Then a couple of weeks later, they throw their hands up and they're like, oh, this isn't working. Then poof, they're off to the next thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, no judgment. Believe me, I've done it too in the past. And after a while, in the past, I had to ask myself, I said, is it really all these different opportunities, or was it me? And that wasn't a fun question to ask myself, but I needed to ask it. Because if you find yourself like a lot of different people, if you're always starting over, then what you're going to be is you're always going to be a beginner. You never get enough experience in one thing. You never figure out what actually works. And in that way, you never give yourself a chance. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying stay with something that's obviously not going anywhere. What I'm talking about is quitting just because it didn't happen fast enough. Those are two different things. So it was something I'd noticed. People will spend years learning a career. Like nobody expects to become a great nurse or electrician or mechanic or teacher overnight. It takes schooling and devotion of years of time. But somehow people expect a second income to replace their paycheck in a month or two. And I honestly don't know where this idea came from. It's been, in my opinion, it's probably been born and bred from some of the less savory advertising online. But it doesn't even make sense when you stop and think about it. For me, myself personally, I quit looking for perfect. I got a lot more interested in simple, something I could understand, something I believed in, something I could actually stay with long enough to find out if it worked. Because if you're constantly changing directions, if you're constantly moving the goalpost or you're going in a different direction, how would you ever know? You wouldn't. Now, I don't know what you watching this video, what your second income should be. It may be completely different from mine, and that's cool. This isn't about convincing you to do what I'm doing. Just because it works for me, I like it, doesn't mean it works for you. It's the best thing. It's about encouraging you to actually pick something. Pick one thing. Learn it, work at it, and give yourself a real chance before you decide and throw your hands up and say, oh, this doesn't work. Because I honestly think that's why most folks never build a second income, not because they couldn't, but because they never stay with one path long enough to build it. So if you're watching this video, you've been thinking about building another source of income, I really want you to think about that and what I just said in this video. I hope it gave you something to think about. And if you're curious about the business I'm personally building, I put together a page explaining why it caught my attention and why I decided to move forward with it. You'll find that linked in the description below. Hope this video helped you. Watch it a couple times, and whatever you do choose, give yourself time and stick with one thing and learn it. That's it. Thanks for watching this video. If you need anything else, give me a shout in the comments. Have a good night.